Alright, considering that she just made a ton of money by selling her alchemy wares and the weapons of the butcher, she now has 123,688 gold, which is more than she ever dreamed possible. She's a little bit in shock. But she has a few goals. First of which is to go back and buy that home. So there was someone north of Balmora, near Moonmoth. Yeah, Iceholme Retreat. So we're gonna head there, buy that. She doesn't know how much it was a couple of thousand, she thinks, which now seems... It seemed impossible. But doesn't now. Considering her victory with the butcher, she might try Iceholme. There's just one particularly difficult part where she might not try Iceholme, where Iceholme will try her. But we'll see.
During the early bloody years of the Second Era, Vanus Galerian was born under the name Trectus, a serf on the estate of a minor nobleman, Lord Gurnas of Solitic on Ker. Trectus's father and mother were common labourers, but his father had secretly, against the law of Lord Gurnas, taught himself and then Trectus to read. Lord Gurnas had been advised that literate serfs were an abomination of nature and dangerous to themselves and their lords, and had closed all bookstores within Solitic on Ker. All booksellers, poets and teachers were forbidden, except within Gurnas's keep. Nevertheless, a small-scale smuggling operation kept a number of books and scrolls in circulation right under Gurnas's shadow. When Trectus was 8, the smugglers were found and imprisoned. Some said that Trectus's mother, an ignorant and religious woman fearful of her husband, was the betrayer of the smugglers. There were other rules as well. The trial of the smugglers was non-existent, and the punishment swift. The body of Trectus's father was kept hanging for weeks during the hottest summer Solitic on Ker had seen in centuries. 3 months later, Trectus ran away from Lord Gurnas's estate. He made it as far as Alanor, halfway across Somerset Island.
I'm really enjoying the warm weather in the West Gash. It's so nice compared to the cold winds of Solstheim. Would you like to trade? So, she has... Where is it? Oh, it's... Okay. A small treasure. Yes, I think you'll like this treasure. It's a special item, a claw made of ice that never melts. It's very rare, so it'll cost you 1,700 gold. Are you interested? Great, it's yours. I must warn you that this claw is enchanted. I wouldn't try to activate it if you were not strong enough to face the consequences. Perhaps you'd better put it somewhere on a shelf and enjoy its beauty. Imperfect Stalrim claw has been added to your inventory. Alright. Next thing she wants to do is find out where Tel Mora is. Because she believes it's Tel Branora. There is someone there who will sell Tel Mora is up here. Okay, the best way to do this is to go to Sadrith Mora and take a boat. Cedrith Mora is here. We've been to Wolverine Hall, but just there, so we'll just walk through. I'm going to go to Dirty Muriel's club and mark in there because there's some good trainers in there. Even if you don't join the Mages Guild, the Thieves Guild, weirdly, in there is one of the better destruction trainers in the game.
A band of troubadours found him nearly dead, curled up in a ditch by the side of the road, nursed him to health, and employed him as an errand boy in return for food and shelter. One of the troubadours, a soothsayer named Heliand, began testing Trectus's mind and found the boy, though sharp and preternaturally intelligent and sophisticated given his circumstances. Heliand recognized in the boy a commonality, for Heliand had been trained on the Isle of Artaeum as a mystic. When the troupe was performing in the village of Potanza on the far eastern end of Somerset, Heliand took Trectus, then a boy of 11, to the Isle of Artaeum. The magister of the isle, Iachesis, recognized potential in Trectus and took him on as pupil, giving him the name of Venus Galerian. Venus trained his mind on the Isle of Artaeum, as well as his body. Thus was the first Archmagister of the Mages Guild trained. From the Sigics of the Isle of Artaeum he received his training. From his childhood of want and injustice he received his philosophy of sharing knowledge. I am a councillor of House Hlalu and chose to write this short guide for those who seek to understand us or join us. House Hlalu is the most open and modern of the great houses. We are the only great house who has embraced the irresistible tides of imperial law and custom. And thus we have profited by the Empire's new policies, rising from obscurity as the greatest of the houses. In the great wind of progress, tradition cannot stand. The Redoran may surpass us on the field of battle, but when the dust clears, they will find themselves indebted to us. The Telvanni may know many arcane secrets, but they fight among themselves more than against each other, and they cannot adapt to the ways of the Empire. Ancient and powerful though a Telvanni wizard may be, no individual can withstand the march of history. The Indoril are loved by the people for their gifts and donations, but when the money runs dry, will the people remember? The Dres know how to make money, but they have not learned how not to.
Is there something you need?
Grasp fortune by the forelock. When you see your chances, seize them. When you see a chance to turn a profit, take
Speak,
it.
traveler.
But do not follow money blindly. There is value in reputation, more than many young Hlalu realize. This value must be carefully balanced against the more tangible coins in any deal. Theft and murder are bad for business. You can steal from someone, but will he trade with you after that? You can't bargain with a dead man. There are many ways to do business. In House Hlalu, you must be fast and agile. You must be able to keep up with business and with the times. You must be able to speak quickly and convincingly. You must be able to trade with the best of merchants and make a profit. You must learn to protect your own property by securing it with hidden chests, locks, and even traps. And when confrontation is unavoidable, it is best to fight quickly in comfortable light armors with short blades, or to fight from a distance with a marksman's weapons.
What is this about?
Okay. Gonna splurge on some new clothes. Fortune favors me. I'm Elgnon. Mistress Stratha, Mage Lord, and Telvanni Counselor is our patron. Can I help you find your way around Telmora? Right. Alright, so, exquisite amulet, exquisite belt, exquisite pants, 2 exquisite rings, exquisite robe, exquisite shirt, exquisite shoes, exquisite skirt. Just gonna buy all of them, and it's kind of shocked that it only comes to 1400, which was unthinkable on clothes before, but this is amazing. She's gonna buy her straight out of everything. And she's gonna buy some... Have we been to Ebonheart? I believe we've been to Ebonheart. We've certainly... Yes, we've certainly been to Ebonheart. Alright. There is a merchant there who sells gems. Oh no, it would be Mournhold. Never mind. Let's see. Who sells gems? Tel Brenora. I don't believe we've been to Tel Brenora. But if we have, that's where we're going next. I don't know, we might have gone there to get to Telfir. Okay, yes, we have gone to Tel Brenora, so I'm going to port to a gem salesman. And I need to go to Mournhold. Because there is a particular merchant there who sells a lot of high-level gems.
I have a great selection
All
that
right,
you'll
we're gonna
find
see how many
especially
gems we
useful
can
out there.
get. Okay, so we're gonna need a lot of blank gems. Alright, let's see. I know we spoke to some people about early transport to Mournhold. Let's see what that's all about. Travel to Mournhold from Vardenfell has been heavily restricted. I've heard the transport might still be available from Ebonheart. Alright, so let's go to Ebonheart and look around. I'm going to travel around the world and buy some exotic things. Ooh, frame rate is an issue.
Ear, let's hear it.
Okay.
Three blessings to you, Redarin.
No. So I am a little confused about that. Okay, this is a mod. So the mod is intended to delay the Dark Brotherhood attacks because they are ridiculous and annoying, and they're just wrong all around the way that they implemented these attacks. So I have a couple of mods in place to try to delay that.
Good day, citizen.
I might be able to speak to the guards and learn
Castle
something.
Ebonheart and the Duke of Ebonheart, Duke Vedum Dren, by the grace of our Emperor, the Emperor's representative here in Vardenfell District. Can I help you? I have heard of a traveling mage who summons creatures, just so he can slay them and capture their souls. Ebonheart is the imperial headquarters for Vardenfell district and a busy seaport. Duke Vidam Dren is the district's ruler and emperor's representative. The duke lives in Castle Ebonheart. The district council chambers and the Hawkmoth Legion garrison are also at Castle Ebonheart. The East Empire Company buildings and docks are outside the castle, facing Vivek to the east.
Yes, friend. I'm an officer of the Imperial Legion. Move along.
Transport to Mournhold. Mournhold! I have no idea how you might get there. You should speak to Apelles Marius. He'd know. I think I saw him walking the battlements. You might check up there.
I've got a few minutes if you need something.
Okay. So, this is to...
What exactly
to bypass the beginning of the Tribunal expansion while still giving you access to the Tribunal area.
Let's hear it.
Okay.
Any time now.
You've got my ear, let's hear it.
You should be up on this battlement.
What's this about? Good day,
Close
citizen.
to it. Is that
I'm
you,
Apelles
Apelles?
Matthias.
Yes.
This is Ebonheart, named for Castle Ebonheart and the Duke of Ebonheart, Duke Vidam Dren, by the grace of our Emperor, the Emperor's representative here in Vardenfell district. Can I help you?
Transport to Mournhold. Transport to Mournhold, that's highly irregular, especially recently with all the worries about the Blight. There is one way you might get there. Speak with Asian Rain about transport to Mournhold. She might be able to help you out.
What's this about?
Sorry, my dude. Okay, I believe she is in the council chamber.
Hireling of House Redoran, if you'll excuse me.
Look at all the nice shiny armor.
Tell me what
Thank you guys who do shaders.
Is there something I can do for you, Outlander?
Any time now.
No. Where is she? That is Dren. I'm not sure where she is. Let me see. There's a door or something. So far the tribunal stuff has just done nothing but frustrate me, so...
What do you want?
I don't know it terribly well.
Yes. You want something?
Speak quickly, Outlander, or go away.
What is it, Dunmer? Greetings, friend. What may I do for you?
Okay. Asian Rain.
I am Asienne Rane. How may I help you, friend?
Wow, okay. Huh. Let me try to persuade her. Okay, I can't get this to work. I'm just going to use my ring. Essentially, the way the original thing works is the Dark Brother attacks you, you speak to the gentleman on the battlebins we just spoke to, he refers you to her, and due to the urgency of you being attacked by the Brotherhood, you go to Mournhold to investigate. She will teleport you. I don't know. My mod is bugged. I don't really think it's worth going through all of it, so I'm just going to use my ring and go to Mournhold. I'm just going to buy a bunch of gems, and this guy is probably who I will be buying gems from in the future. So what's different here is 5 grand soul gems, 15 common, 10 greater. They're higher than most that are available, sporadic, so it's a draw for the expansion for people to buy it so that you can be more magic-y. Okay, so I am going to duplicate some of the enchantments I already have on the lower level gear. It'll be able to fit more, and I'm going to add more. So I will show those to you when I'm done. Okay, I have ported around the world, bought spells, bought enchantments, bought gear. I'm right outside of Ghostgate, having visited the forge here and bought myself some glass armor. So I have glass greaves. The glass doesn't take much in way of enchantment, cloth does, so I only have a couple of pieces of glass that isn't cloth. Because I already have, well, I can never find a left pauldron anyway. But this has Fortify Alteration 5 points, that was a drop. Deceit, that was a drop. I made pants that do Reflect 25 to 26%. A skirt that is Resist Blight Disease, makes up the difference from Resist Common Disease and gives me a 48-point fire shield. A shirt that is Resist Paralysis 100%, shield 25 points. A robe that is a 60-point frost shield. Now, the frost and the fire shield also help me in survival, which is why I'm prioritizing them. Because if I go to a cold place like Solstheim and I have a frost shield, I will be protected from cold damage. Same as if I go to lava that might otherwise hurt me if I'm, levitating over it, and I have a fire shield that will protect me from it. The drop ring of Raveneye, I made a belt that replaced my Detect Enchantment, Detect Key, Water Breathing, and also gave me some Resist Common Disease. The drop Treachery Glove, and I made a... Well, this is, Golden Opportunity, so this is an amulet that will summon a Golden Saint for me, and Dremora Rama, which will summon a Dremora for me, plus give me 23% Reflect. So I've got a lot of Reflect. Things are essentially going to hit me, and then keel over. So that is the plan. And now we are going to go to Iceholme, and I think we're going to do just fine. So to go to Iceholme, you activate the Imperfect Stalrim Claw. You can feel your hand freezing while you're holding the claw. Would you like to activate its magic? Yes. So at this point, I am insanely overpowered for my level. And I like it that way. I have been here when I was not overpowered, and we'll see how we do. There are a couple of spots that could still be dicey. Okay.
Then, reader, Would you seize this opportunity to join House Hlalu? Would you have yourself be counted among the victors in the race for success? Then submit yourself for examination at the Balmora Council Manor. If you have the skills, you will be welcome. If you serve House Hlalu and advance in the ranks, above all things, House Hlalu prizes initiative.
So yeah, okay, my Dremora is level 9. My Golden Saint is level 20. I could actually do a couple of Golden Saints, but the amulet has more points to hold magic than the ring. So the ring has to have something lesser unless I got a better ring. I'm gonna practice my restoration on these guys, although usually they resist magic anyway. Okay, I have a mod that eliminates friendly fire, so unfortunately that means I will not be able to trap the souls of my followers. You know, bummer. Okay, these are Hasfat's notes for Caius. And this is the note from, I believe, Hasfat. Yeah, Hasfat to the Mage Guild expedition to Arkanthand. Bearer of this note, Nandeen, has provided useful service and shown considerable resourcefulness. I've employed Nandeen in retrieving an item from Arkanthand, so you can count on some familiarity with Dwemer ruins. If you have a place, I believe Nandeen will give satisfaction. If you have any luck, perhaps you'll use the bearer to send a note my way. My best regards and affection to you and Panya, Hasfat Antabalus. So you can go there on Hasfat's recommendation. You can also go there on a Mage Guild quest.
1.
Oh,
Purpose.
This is the Charter of the
Guild
Mages
of Mages provides benefits to scholars of magic and established laws regarding the proper use of magic. The Guild is dedicated to the collection, preservation, and distribution of magical knowledge, with an emphasis on ensuring that all citizens of Tamriel benefit from this knowledge. 2. Authority. The Guild of Mages was established on Somerset Isle in the year 230 of the Second Era by Vanus Galerion and Relis XII. It was later confirmed by Versiduche. 3. Rules and procedures. Crimes against fellow members of the Guild are treated with the harshest discipline. Whether a member may regain their status in the Guild is determined by the Archmage. 4. Membership requirements. The Guild of Mages only accepts candidates of keen intelligence and dominant will. Candidates must exhibit mastery in the great schools of magic: destruction, alteration, illusion, mysticism. Knowledge of enchantments and alchemical processes. 5. Applications for membership candidates must present themselves to the steward of the Guild Hall for examination and approval. Attachment: A. Mages Guild. Chapters in Vardenfell District, province of Morrowind. Chapters are established in Guild-owned and Caldera. The chapter in Cedrith Mora is established in Wolverine Hall under lease from the Telvanni Council. The chapter in Vivek is established in the Foreign Quarter under lease from the Tribunal Temple.
Okay, so This place has a lot of Stalhrim gear, which I won't be using, but it's very nice. If you are aware of Skyrim, Stalhrim is the high-end enchanted ice crafting component that you can make gear out of. This mod has a really nice set of Stalhrim gear and Stalhrim weapons if you look around. I don't remember exactly how to progress from here, but what's really cool, and that I'm happy about, is that last time I was in here, I had no map. So now I have a map. Go me.
The mineral resources that lie within the province of Morrowind are vast, likely due to the geologic activity lent to the area by the volcanic Red Mountain. Indeed, the lands of the Dark Elves can be counted among the most productive in all the Empire in terms of mineral deposits. There do not appear to be especially dense concentrations of particular minerals in any given locale. Rather, different minerals, all of impressive value, are spread around the province. Valuable minerals contained within Morrowind: glass, adamantium, and gold. Morrowind is not limited to these alone, as there are also modest amounts of precious and semi-precious gemstones, such as emerald, ruby, Recent assessment parties assigned to the frozen island of Solstheim have also indicated that further opportunities will exist. One of the most precious and rarest minerals within the province. The primary use of adamantium is in the production of weapons and armor, although it can also be wrought into fine art for the durable, but it is also quite weighty. In the hands of all the strongest soldiers, adamantium weapons can become unwieldy, and the exhaustion that comes of swinging such weapons or wearing such armor makes it impractical for prolonged use. The price of the raw material also prevents its use in a scale that would be needed for war. The simple lack of adamantium, coupled with its weight and rarity, do not usually make it a good investment for the fighting warrior. While adamantium can be found all around the province in small quantities, it is not known to be found on Vardenfell. Due to its scarcity, it is not economically advantageous to establish any adamantium mines in Morrowind. Adventurers have been known to brave the depths of Mournhold in search of adamantium deposits known to lie beneath the sacred city. Ebony is valuable and useful and relatively abundant in the province. As with adamantium, ebony has the drawback of being ridiculously heavy, although in the right hands it serves exceptionally well as protective armor, as well as lethal weapons of high quality and durability. Many ebony...
Okay, it's gonna get a little dicey in here, because if I get hit by lots of shocks, the wind whispers, "Here lies the frozen saint, the one whose name was carried away with the breath of Keen. Your journal has been updated." So there are several storm atronachs in here. And as soon as I step out here, I'm it. So unless I can snipe these guys, though I seem to be doing okay. Yeah. Okay. We're good. Oops. Oh, come on. Whacking up. Alright. We're doing well. So, thanks to my mod list that makes this ridiculously easy at a certain point, I am grateful. I am significantly less scrub than I was. So this whole zone is a little... the zone author wants you to really look around. There's a lot... I don't even know if there's something down there. other than slaughterfish. So there's a lot to look around in. I might have to backtrack a couple times because there are keys and
are in existence, most notable.
Yeah, keys and different items that I'm going to need. This will essentially lead me to a player home, but you have to solve the puzzles.
But the armor is a good deal rarer and harder to come by. Some fortunate and rich nobles or adventurers own pieces of ebony armor, but the person with a full suit is a rare individual. Raw ebony itself is heavy, and even a small load will
So, yeah, Stalhrim Battle Axe worth 80k right here. Very cool visage of the Frozen Saint. It does look nice, but this is a good reason to have Detect Key, because boy is that easy to miss. Can barely get my mouse over it to pick it up. So, Hladbauer Key. So I'm not going to be using the Stalhrim. If I had a follower, I would give it to them. But I'm not giving up my enchantments. I do think this helmet looks very cool, though. And let's see. I might. I kind of like that. So, yeah, let me use my camera. Just spin around. Yeah, I'm keeping it. Okay. Yeah, it's a medium piece of armor, but it looks very cool. I like it a lot. And it's gonna replace a light glass helm. I'm not really gonna be taking that many hits. Armor rating 21, armor rating 18. No, I'm not. I'm gonna stick with the glass. Let's see how I look with the glass. The glass looks very cool too, and elven-y. Alright, sticking with the glass. Okay, so that's, I think the mod is free cam, so you can actually look at yourself before you end up in vanity mode. Let me see what's down here. And if I freeze to death in the water. Okay, yeah, to be comfortable in freezing water is very nice. Okay, I don't know. I don't think there's anything necessary down here, but let's just check. So, yeah, so my frost shield and there's what, 1 gold? Okay. There was a chest down here. So, okay. And that is the benefit of the resist, the shield. I have resist frost, making this water comfortable for me, because otherwise I would freeze to death. Okay, guys. Good. Alright. Oh, yeah, I wanted to take a bath. And my Dremora stuck. I guess they didn't teach swimming in Dremora school. Just swearing in distorted voices. Okay. No big deal. Okay, they're both up. Okay, have the key. I believe there's 2. Yeah, there's 2 paths, and now this path down here has some treasure. Red Despair Amulet, absorb attribute willpower. Not gonna wear it, but I'll be happy to sell it. Always happy to see gems. Okay.
Cumber the mightiest, making transportation of large amounts of the mineral completely impractical, except by ship. Currently, the ebony industry in Morrowind is modest, and we should look to expand it due to the obvious potential for profit. Although ebony is known to exist throughout the province, it is often found very deep underground, making the initial stages of mining uncommonly expensive. Currently, there are a few large operations extracting ebony, such as the mine near Caldera, several on the mainland, and a number of smaller mines within the Red Mountain region and the Ashlands. Currently, a good deal of prospecting is in progress in an attempt to expand the ebony trade in Morrowind. The most recent example of our efforts being the proposed mine on the Isle of Solstheim, provided ore tests produce sufficient yield, and the frozen grounds do not impede progress drastically. Gold is both malleable and ductile, as well as highly valuable. Most of the Empire's gold comes from the west, and little is found in Morrowind, with none at all on Vardenfell. This makes gold a very highly prized item, and although it is encumbering, it makes for an excellent form of currency. Should there be a shortage of money, gold... Due to its weight and malleability, it can be forged to form armor, but this armor is both expensive and not terribly strong. Due to lack of gold in Morrowind, it wouldn't be effective for not when it can be mined. Glass is one of the most unique materials in the province. Reasonably durable, making the market weapon. Glass is costly, so few. Popular among the armigers, I could also expect that several of the great houses might possess numerous people.
Okay. So yeah, those Atronachs took out my okay. Those Atronachs took out my Dremora, but all that means is put the ring back on again, Dremora back to full health. Alright, I think we're a little out of order here, but I'm not sure. I remember after do a bit of backtracking. We'll have to see if I picked up the key correctly this time. If I recall, there really isn't much in here. Ah, cool. I have the key. I did it! Okay. Briny Rob. Stalrim Spear. Okay. Very pretty little spot. I mean, horribly cold. With slaughterfish everywhere. Well, I'll give you a tour. Okay, little island with a well. A raven. Another little island with some ravens, and this raven is a merchant. Raven first looks at you, then to his little treasures, and you hear his voice in your head. He wants to trade. So there's no faction. You can barter. You can travel back to the West Gash. I can barter. So I could buy more Stalrim, but considering it's medium gear, I'm not going to. They also have black soul gems. Now, in this game, and I have a mod called Practical Necromancy, which will allow you to trap souls into black soul gems, but you need to go through quests and a series of things, beginning with the orc in the Balmora Mage Guild, who insists she's not a necromancer, but she is. And you buy black soul gems, but essentially you would need to cast black soul trap on them. Now, it's true, I will be getting another Daedric bow, probably fairly soon. But, yeah, I like the Stalrim arrows, so I'll buy those. A few of those, but other than that, there's not much here. I'm not really a necromancer. It's too much work. You know, whenever I watch, like, murder shows or something, I'm like, boy, that's a lot of work. I don't want to be cleaning up bodies. This is a lot, guys. That's a lot of chores. So, I'm too lazy to be a murderer. Holly bush. Okay. So this is a really nice house. The only reason why I don't use it... I did use it as a base of operations at some point. But the only reason why I prefer the ancestral home is that's one room. This is instanced. And it is really nice. But of course... I have to, like, move up and down. Again, too lazy to live in this house. But it's a great role-play home for self-time. Okay. Alright, I'm in some enclosed space here now. The fighting is over, so I can take off my summons. Alright, there is the teapot. And there is a place to cook. Now, right here is the other part of... There's the journal. Most of the pages in the journal were torn out, but you can read the last few of them. It seems you survived the encounter with our guardians of Hlad Barrow. Good. I don't want any milk drinkers living in my house. I only ask you to be kind to my ravens. They used to be ordinary birds, but over time they learned a couple of magic tricks from me, and it changed them. Croak and Caw are the smartest. Perhaps they could be of help to you. It's not important why I have to leave. I won't bore you with the tales of my adventures that led me to finding this place. This frozen cavern provided me with a great place to stay. There's also a part of the barrow only accessible through a portal, and the enchanted orb on the table can take you there. I freed up some space, so it's up to you to put your trophies on the shelves. The Stalrim claws will help you find your way back to this retreat. Take good care of the house. Okay, so the Stalrim claw now in my... Ooh, I'm gonna take the exquisite snow hat. See how well that is enchanted. So the other raven is up here. Caw. And you can make spells, which is very nice. But not... You know, I could loot everything here, but I really don't want to. I'm just going to leave. There's a lot here to loot, but I'm just going to leave this here. Show you the house. So, there is cooking and a bed here. I could put down a basin and have this be a nice house. I used to also just go outside and take a drink. Here is a display room. And I think there's one more level. Was there an up or another down? Let me see. No. Yeah, there's one more down. It's sort of a roleplay thing. But yeah, there's a sauna, which is very nice, but it doesn't actually recognize water here. Let me try. Yeah, you need to be in water or in a bath to use soap. So that's a little disappointing. I could put down a basin here, it's true, but having to, like, zone a couple of times just makes it less appealing. And here there's a bed and a sauna, but there's no place to cook. And upstairs is a bed and a place to cook, but no place to take a bath. And there's no, the ancestral home has, you know, a place to pray. So, I don't know. I can always use the claw to come back here. And there's one more little portal area. Plod, Barrow. There's still bad guys in here, so I probably should be able to take them on my own though. So there's a bunch of storage, more display space. I think if I were much better at personal displays, because this is one thing that the stronghold that I put in does not have is mannequins. But again, it's just having to zone several times doesn't appeal to me. Though I really love this mod. And I'm glad it's here. There's still bad guys back here. They're hiding. There's also more stuff. So lots of mannequins. Me trying to be brave without my followers. It's also a good time to start not having followers, because eventually there are parts in the game where I am definitely going to have to sneak, and my followers have crappy sneak. My kitty always gets me in trouble. Okay. If I recall, back here there's like one more piece of loot, along with possibly one more owie. But I think they did a really good job of using Morrowind resources and getting the feel of Skyrim. Okay. Hey, no, bad Draugr, bad. Okay. Yeah, the real place to be scared of is that room with 4 Atronachs. Yes, Stalhrim longbow. It's very nice. So, Stalhrim longbow is attack 5 to 55. And this is 2 to 50, so yeah, the Stalhrim longbow is better than the Daedric bow. So Stalhrim arrows. So you can get some here, and again, I mean, the first time I came here, I you know, completely overjoyed with the Stalhrim bow, and that's amazing. Still amazing. It's a great place. Okay, so the chests are mostly empty in order to facilitate storage. And there is another raven back here that is just here for, you know, flavor. I'm not gonna, no, I didn't mean it that way. I'm not gonna eat you. Flavor. Oh, okay, you get it. Yeah, I'm cool. We're cool. I'm cool. I can turn my back on you and you won't tell everybody to hate me. Okay. So that is Hlodbarrow and Iceholme Retreat. So I might switch to the... I'll be getting another Daedric bow, and I can... Let's see if I... No, I can't reach it. And anyway, I think this is amazing. So, tribute to this. This is a great mod. And if I were playing a Nord, I might hang out here more, but I'm going full Dark Elf there. Alright, let me recharge my bow. So thankfully, burning all these gems will raise my enchanting And you do have to burn a lot of gems, because when your enchanting's low, it doesn't work much. Okay. Alright. So, my thanks to the creator of Iceholme Retreat. This is an amazing place. I really like the dungeon. And I'm really happy to be able to get through here at level 5 with all my uberness. We are out of scrub territory. Alright. Next quest. Foamsmirilla has asked me to travel to the Mages Guild branch in Sadrith Mora and speak on his behalf with Skink and Treeshade, the leader there, regarding the disappearances. He may have information that could shed light on this entire situation. Okay, so Sadrith Mora is one of the places where I can go directly using my ring. I'll speak to Skink and Treeshade, who is the guild leader here in Sadrith Mora.
I'm at your service. Are you here for duties or advancement?
I may have duties for you later. Right now, I'm busy making a detect creature potion for Edwina and Aldrune. So when I asked about missing Khajiit, I'm surprised you're bringing up this matter. It was many months ago they left. Why are you interested in what happened to them? Foamsmirilla sent me. He wants to know what happened to one of the members of his hall, Travere. Travere? I do not recall that name. It is possible he was one of the Khajiit who came to Sadrith Mora to meet with Kahar, who was also missing. He had frequent visits from Khajiit mages hailing from our other guild branches, and about a month prior to his departure they all gathered here. I cannot give you details on what they discussed. I do not know all of what was spoken, but I do know they were planning to embark on an expedition together. Before his disappearance, Kahar told me many Khajiit in the guild were involved in a very important investigation. They were considering leaving the Mages Guild over this, and that they kept this research a secret to avoid potential interference. They were concerned that if their findings became public, that the leaders of the other branches would attempt to take credit or declare the research as guild property, thus removing their chance to continue their work independently. He asked me, not as a subordinate, but as a friend, to let him meet with his colleagues privately in these halls and to keep the matter confidential, especially should guild members in Balmora or Vivec ask about it. In exchange for my trust, he assured me that their research would never endanger any of our members or clash with our interests. He stressed that the significance of their work was more spiritual than material. Given the way he expressed it, I suspected it was a religious matter related to his culture, so I chose not to explore it further to avoid making him uncomfortable. Kahar was always a loyal member of the guild and a good friend to me. He joined the Mages Guild when he was just a young cub. The former master wizard of this hall bought him from a slaver after being amazed by his skill in mysticism. He practically grew up in this hall, and was consistently of exemplary behavior and character. He never would have asked me to hold my silence on the matter unless it was truly important to him. After I agreed to his request, and until the day he disappeared, many Khajiit came to this hall to talk with him. I kept my word and never asked about their plans, so I cannot be of much help in locating them, but I do know they often met with Procyon Nigelius. Perhaps he has more information regarding their disappearance. You're free to speak with him.
Vision, then the conjuration. This is unsettling.
Please, by all means. I'm listening. I'm fine. I hope you're well. What do you need this time? Are you looking for services here in Sadrith Mora?
So if you ask about the missing Khajiit, I'm aware of their disappearance. I keep in regular contact with colleagues in other halls, and they've all mentioned that their fellow Khajiit left the guild without any warning, just like Kahar. At Skink and Treeshade's request, I did not inform them about the conversations I had with the Khajiit. which I now consider to be a mistake. I fear that something may have happened to them. I'm afraid I don't know the details about what they were planning. They revealed very little to me. I had thought their interest in my work was purely academic, that they needed someone with advanced knowledge of alteration magic to help solve what I thought was an unusual hypothetical. Since most of them didn't trust the members of their own halls with expertise on the subject, they turned to me in the hope that I could assist them with their magical research. The Khajiit were searching for a spell that would provide them with breathable air anywhere. And by anywhere, I mean anywhere, and not just underwater. They were determined to discover how to generate air from nothing. For what little practical use that would have, I will admit the magic they sought was far beyond my expertise in alteration, likely beyond almost anyone's capabilities, but I did try to help them. What they intended was not as simple as altering the properties of water to make it breathable. As a rule, alteration creates impermanent change in the rules or physical substances of the world, and nothing simply cannot become something. Even if they managed to overcome that challenge, to conjure breathable air through magic, there would be no straightforward way to contain it. We certainly experimented to that end, but the effort bore few results of any merit or real use. I advised them that if they genuinely wanted to pursue this experiment, that they would need to seek out a true master trainer of alteration magic. I'm not sure if they followed my advice, though. The Khajiit were very secretive about their research and didn't share any details with me. Okay, Procyon Nigelius told me that the Khajiit were working on a way to generate breathable air through magic. Unfortunately, he was unable to help them develop such a spell and recommended they consult a master in alteration. I should share my findings with Foam's Miro. Okay, so before I go back to Foam's, let me get another piece of the master index. I delivered the Phallus Marian Propylon Index and received 500 gold. Next, I need the Valenvarian Propylon Index. Nibani Mesa, a wise woman of the Ursulaku Ashlander tribe in Ursulaku camp, had this index. She may not know its worth. Perhaps I can buy it from her cheaply. Okay, so Ursulaku is one of those places I usually take a ring to get to. Here's Ahumusa. There's the Ursulaku camp. Okay, I can go there from Cool.
Glass weapons are also of high quality, with razor edges and slight...
Okay, last time we were here there were some texture problems, but I did fix them. There was an update to a mod that had a patch, and I just needed to take out the patch.
Glass weapons are prized among enchanters, who can make excellent fire, frost and poison blades with them, to name but just a few. The weakness of glass weapons lie in their durability, being nowhere near as reliable as adamantium, ebony, or a small host of lesser materials. To add to the already costly price of glass, very few smiths are trained and skilled in the creation of glass items. House Telvanni has interests in the expansion of glass mining, probably to add to their profits from enchanting and selling, along with raw glass's unique alchemical property. At the moment, plans for expansion of the glass industry by the East Empire Company have not yet been discussed, and although House Telvanni is planning on taking the matter into their own hands, restrictions and pressure from the Empire are expected. Iron is another mineral that is located in the province of Morrowind. It is not to be ignored. While it doesn't exist copiously and isn't nearly as valuable as the iron is a far more effective metal than some of the others. As a raw mineral, the value is small, but once extracted, it can be forged into many tools and weapons. As a bonus, when iron is mixed with carbon, a much stronger alloy occurs, steel. Steel is one of the most widely used metals in all of the Empire, due to its strength and its power. At the moment, there is little need to expand the potential of the East Empire Company's abilities to acquire iron in the province of Morrowind. The yield simply wouldn't be high enough, and it isn't valuable enough to warrant the inherent expenses for working in such a volatile land. Could learn from the unconventional tactics used by the Khajiit in the 5 Years' War against Valenwood. I was stationed at the Sphinxmouth Legion fort on the border near Dune and witnessed many of the northern skirmishes firsthand. The war started with the slaughter of Torval. The Khajiit claimed that the Bosmer invaded the city without provocation and killed over 1,000 citizens before being driven off by reinforcements from a nearby jungle tribe. The Bosmer claimed that the attack was in retaliation for Khajiiti bandits who were attacking wood caravans headed for Valenwood. In the spring of Third Era, 396, the war moved closer to Fort Sphinxmouth. I was posted on lookout and saw parts of the conflict. I later spoke with both Khajiit and Bosmer who fought in the battle, and it will serve as an excellent example of how the Khajiit used a mixture of and true deeds to win the war. The Khajiit began the fight in an unusual way by sending tree-cutting teams of Cathay-Rat or fearsome Sencherat or battle cats into the outskirts of Valenwood forests. When word reached the Bosmer that trees were being felled, allegedly a crime in the strange Bosmeri religion, a unit of archers were dispatched to large The Bosmer were thus goaded into splitting their forces into smaller groups. The Bosmer archers took up positions in the remaining trees, whose branches were now 20 or more feet apart, allowing some light into the forest floor. The Bosmer bent the remaining trees with their magics into small fortifications from which to fire their bows. When the tree cutters arrived the next morning, a half-dozen Khajiit fell to the Bosmer arrows in the first volley. After that, the Khajiit took large wooden shields from the backs of the Sencherat and made a crude shelter. The Khajiit, even the enormous Sencherat, were able to hide between this shelter and one of the larger trees. When it became apparent that the Khajiit would not leave their shelter, some Bosmer chose to descend and engage the Khajiit sword to claw.
Okay, now, she was raised Ashlander. She does know some of the customs of her Ashlander.
You come to talk, then talk, Outlander. There is nothing in your words for me. Talk with someone else.
Okay. Just gonna listen to that.
Yes, Outlander. You come to talk, then talk, Outlander.
As her home.
Speak to a wise woman. They know the lore of dreams.
Okay, so she will speak to the wise woman, which is what she wanted to do anyway. They didn't kill her on sight. That's good.
Muthsera? You are in the wrong place, Outlander. Leave now! These dreams are the black lies of the Sharmat Dagoth-Ur. Dagoth-Ur himself is mad. He is dead, but he dreams he lives. He hears laughter and love, but he makes monsters and ghouls. He woos as a lover, but he reeks with fear and disgust. Do not listen. Do not go to him. I know nothing about this thing.
So ask her
a hunter
about the
found a curious
index?
stone in a ruin and gave it to me. It is not important. That's why I'm willing to sell it.
Okay. So, Propylon Index, 18 gold. She's taking it, and she is leaving. Wise woman said she was in the wrong place. She's going to take that to heart. That went surprisingly well for Ashlanders. She's not dead. And that is important. Okay, back to Caldera, where we will turn in both the Propylon Index and the information about the Khajiit to Foams.
I'm listening.
We're going places now. These indices are proving invaluable to my work. As always, here's your 500 gold. Next, I want the Indoranian Propylon Index. Its current owner, Divaith Fear, the old and powerful Telvanni wizard of Telfir, and an avid collector of antiquities, may not want to part with it. However, he is known to be a reasonable person, so I'm sure you can work something out if need be. Now ask about Caldera Priory. Apparently progress is being made at Caldera Priory. Perhaps there is hope after all. And I'll tell him about the missing Khajiit. Have you talked to Skink in Tree Shade? What did he tell you? Tell Foams Mural everything you know. I didn't expect Drovir to keep something like this from me. I understand his reasons, even if I don't agree with them. It wouldn't be the first time Trebonius Artorius or Ranus Arthurus has sabotaged one of their subordinates' research or coerced them into giving them the credit for their work. I would have liked to think they knew that was not my approach. If he'd shared what he was working on and mentioned that he intended to leave the guild, I wouldn't have
only
opposed
the
him.
happy hours.
I've always respected my subordinates' decisions and their individual researches. In fact, just before he disappeared, Drovir asked me for help in finding a master trainer of alteration under a flimsy pretext. I kindly connected him with a good friend who specializes in that field without asking any questions. That simple gesture should have made it clear to him that he could trust me. Leaving without any explanation was a very irresponsible decision, and I'm quite disappointed, to be honest about it. I suppose this is where my involvement in this matter ends. I can't continue investing time and guild resources in a voluntary absence. Here's the payment for your trouble. I apologize for making you waste your time. Okay, so he's turning it over to me. My quest log says... Foams Mural seemed quite disappointed at what I've discovered, but he hinted that the Khajiit did find a master trainer of alteration. Let me see if I can ask him about that. Master trainer in alteration. There's only one person I know who's truly mastered the art of alteration. Serene Relas. She's an old friend of mine. In her prime, she was affiliated with House Telvanni, perhaps one of the most skilled mages to have ever set foot in Vardenfell. She retired from the world of magic many years ago, and now leads a simple life in a small house in Tel Brenora. When Drovir asked me about a master trainer, I shared this information with him, but I'm not sure if he ever reached out to her. If you want to visit my old friend to inquire on the matter, I won't stop you. You are free to investigate on your own. Just make sure you do not do so in the name of the Guild of Mages. This issue is no longer our concern, much as it pains me to say it. Okay, so for context, Serene Relas is one of the main characters in the book Breathing Water, which I believe we've read here, which is about the man who travels to learn alteration, finds Serene Relas and is taught to breathe water, and ends up mistaking water-breathing potions for wine, and dying horribly. Okay, so next quest. Temple Compassion. Okay, Malkashiki. Yeah, okay. Okay, I can do 2 of these quests at once. I'm gonna go to Margan. Maybe 3. Yeah, it looks like 3. Okay, I can pick up 3 quests. Go to Margan, and then head west.
Bosma were nearly upon the shelter, one of the Khajiit began playing on a native instrument of plucked metal bars. This was a signal of some kind, and a small group of the man-like Ohms and Ohms Ra holes on the forest floor. Although our outnumbered, they were attacking from behind by surprise and won the ground quickly. The Bosmer archers in the trees would have still won the battle were they not having troubles of their own. A group of Dagi and Dagi-Rat, two of the less common forms of Khajiit who live in the trees of the Tenmar forest, jumped from one tree to another under a magical cover of silence. They took up positions in the higher branches that could not hold a Bosmer's weight. When the signal came, they used their claws and either torches or spells of fire, accounts from the two survivors I spoke with vary on this point, to distract the archers while the battle on the ground took place. A few of the archers were able to flee, but most were killed. Apparently, the Dagi and Dagi-Rat have more magical ability than is widely believed if they were able to keep themselves magically silenced for so long. One of the surviving Bosmer told me that he saw a few ordinary cats among the Dagi, and even claimed that these ordinary cats are known as Alfik, and that they were the spellcasters. But Bosmer are almost as unreliable as the Khajiit when it comes to the truth, and I cannot believe that a house cat can cast spells. At the end of the day, the Khajiit lost perhaps a half-dozen fighters with a force of no more than 4 dozen, while the Bosmer lost nearly an entire company of archers. The survivors were unable to report back before a second company of archers arrived, and this strategy was repeated again with similar results. Finally, a much larger force was sent, and the Bosmer won that battle with the help of the native animals of Valenwood. That third skirmish and the Khajiiti response I will discuss in the second volume of this series.
Is there something I can do for you? Pardon me, can you help a poor pilgrim? I've been trying to get to Ruddy Man, but I've lost my way. If you would be so kind as to help, I can pay you 150 septums upon our arrival. I need to get there rather quickly, though. I'm on a pilgrimage, and there are others I must meet there. I must be at Ruddy Man in Coal Cave within 2 days. Can you help?
I can escort you to Coal Cave.
Excellent. Let us be on our way, then. It's on the western shore, so we must hurry.
I'm going to ask about transport to Mournhold again. Travel to Mournhold from Vardenfell. Yeah, it's just the same answer. Okay. So, yeah, I'm gonna port to Coal Cave and Nisus, and then port back.
Thank you for your help. As promised, here is your payment.
Okay. Okay, Mathis Dalabar is in here. Well, let's go find him.
Is there something I can do for you? Thank the tribunal you're here. I've been stuck in here for days since the ash storm. I was too far from town when the storm hit. I took shelter in here until the storm passed, but then I couldn't get out because the door was stuck. I've been in here for days. The sooner we travel together back to Margan, the sooner I can get back into business. Can we travel together to Margan? Take me to the Margan Shrine. Thank you.
I love that Darth Vader sound.
Thanks for getting me back to Margan.
Okay, so I will go turn that in. That's House Redoran. Okay, I'm gonna go turn that in, because otherwise it's just gonna loop around the list. That's Aldrun. And I should be able to qualify now for either advancement or further duties, because I did a bunch of training before I went on my last trip.
So have you found out what happened to Mathis Dalabar? I heard that Mathis Dalabar made it to Margan with your help. Good work. I have more duties for you. Congratulations, you have been promoted to lawman. You have the skills we seek, but you have not performed enough duties yet. Mathis Dalabar is doing well, last I heard. House Redoran honors strength and endurance. We value all the skills of war, but especially the arts of longblade, spear, blocking, marksmanship, and athletics. Redorans must know how to use and repair heavy and medium armor. Only when armed with these skills can we perform our inherited duties as the warriors and defenders of the Dunmer. A Hlalu guard stole a founder's helm from one of our tombs. Would you be willing to recover this founder's helm from the godless Hlalu? Alvis Terry stole a founder's helm from the Uverin ancestral tomb. He boasts of this feat at the 8 Plates Inn in Balmora and wears the helm openly. Confront him and demand the helm. Slay him if necessary, but do not shame House Redoran by murdering him. You must not murder Alvis Terry. Threaten him, taunt him, these are allowed. You may even slay him as long as he strikes the first blow. But if you resort to murder, the Hlalu will brag for years that all Redorans are thugs and murderers. Like I said, get the Founder's helm from Alvis Terry. Do whatever you must to get the helm back, but do not murder Alvis Terry, for that would shame House Redoran.
Okay, back to Margan, where we're going to continue on to do the temple quest. So we were right here when we found men that we just escorted to the temple. Go back and then head up to the Sharagorath shrine, heal an orc, and also pick up another Daedric bow. Silkweave. Constant effect, fortify speed, restore magicka 1 point, spell absorption 5 points, and fortify magicka. Maximum magicka times 0.1. Ooh, that's nice, but I just made a really nice pair of shoes. Let's see how they compare. Oh, yeah, this is better. I'm going to switch. The other one that I had, it didn't have lots of... Wait. What did I just do? Okay. Yeah, so it was resist normal weapons 45%, which was really all I could fit on there. This would be better. Good. Okay.
Mysticism is the school of sorcery least understood by the magical community and the most difficult to explain to novice mages. The spell effects commonly ascribed to the school of mysticism are as extravagantly disparate as Soul Trap, the creation of a cell that would hold a victim's spirit after death, to telekinesis, the manipulation of objects at a distance. But these effects are simply that, effects. The sorcery behind them is veiled in a mystery that goes back to the oldest civilizations of Tamriel and perhaps beyond. The Sijiks of the Isle of Artium have a different term for mysticism, the old way. The phrase becomes bogged in semantic quagmire because the old way also refers to the religion and customs of the Sijiks, which may or may not be part of the magic. There are few mages who devote their lives to the study of mysticism. The other schools are far more predictable and ascertainable. Mysticism seems to derive power from its conundrums and paradoxes, the act of experimentation, no matter how objectively implemented, can influence magicka by its...
This will be a precog moment here, but we're going to go into the top of the temple here for a quick trip. So, as you can see, there's a marker for entry up here. This is essentially the back door into the temple. The shrine, excuse me. It's a Daedric shrine to Sheogorath. And up here, you can see the marker already, is a Propylon index next to a dead gentleman who happens to also have a Daedric bow. I think a music box. I think that's like the Bardcraft thing, which I never got into. One more Daedric bow. So as you can see, it's probably easier to get the Daedric bow. I mean, can you imagine trying to even see that? Like, how are you supposed to know? It is an easier way to get a Daedric bow at the beginning of the game, as long as you could take those cliff racers outside and you don't really aggro anything that's inside. And some Daedric arrows, which are always good. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back... Oh, am I missing textures down there, or is it just really pink? So, unlike the shrine, unlike the, what is it, at the beginning, the ebony mine that we went to and sold. This is a little, I mean, it's harder. There's more risk here. There's no real risk at getting the one at the mine as long as you don't go deep into the mine. Okay. Yeah, level 18 Twilight. Although you can avoid these by not coming down here. Wintry breastplate. Frost shield 5 points for 40 seconds. Not giving anything up for that. Oh, I want to see about this missing texture thing. Sometimes when things show up pink. Ooh, yeah. We got some missing textures, folks. It's probably from the Daedric Shrine overhaul, which is what got updated. Okay, so we're gonna be going the backward way through the temple, which is fine. Except we're gonna get hit with a bit of aggro. So we're in the upper gallery. Sheogorath smiles upon the shrine. You do not belong here. So I think, yeah, you can actually join the Sheogorath faction, but I'm not up for it, so I'm gonna attack. Everybody here dies, if they attack me first. And they will. So we're in the upper gallery of the Sheogorath temple. You can either come in the front and work your way to where I was before. Oop. Busted texture. My Daedric shrines are a mess. Okay. So, okay. Yeah.
See what you're made of.
Ooh, they took a chunk out of me. I loot alcohol because it's a thing that people in this game want alcohol. Ooh, nice. 12,000 on a glass axe. There is a lot of loot back here. You can see the enchant spam. I believe there's also a Daedra heart, and when we loot it, there's gonna be Daedra. So let me put on my companion gear. Doesn't sneak up on you. A ton of loot. Okay, Caretaker's Mask, which has 2 summon scamps for a minute, which is not insignificant. But I won't be wearing it. Okay, I will carefully... You can see there's a gem on the top of that, so I need to turn off my quick loot so that the container does not automatically open. They're worth quite a bit. So, Grand Soul Gem with Bone Lord, worth 300. Okay, and if I take the extra step and come up here to loot, there will be attacking Dremora. Yes, I am a thief. So yeah, and they're down in the water. It's awkward. And I might not know which one is my Dremora. The blue bar. But, yeah, and there's usually water down here. It's a little weird. This is like shooting Dremora in a barrel. You are. Okay, so my, my Daedric shrines are a little bit wonky after the last update, but look at the fog shaders. I worked hard on those. Okay. Now, she is the target for the Compassion quest. And so we heal her. Cure Common and Blight Disease on touch. No, not the bow.
Thank you.
Okay. She's crazy. So if we talk to her, and thank you for curing me, I'd get out of here if I were you. Blight is a... Oh, she's being sane. Blight is a sickness you get from being outside during ash storms. If I ask about Sheogorath, Lord Sheogorath grants mortals the gift of madness. Okay, yeah, here we get to the crazy. Her latest rumor. All the inners have had Galdent and wept faithlings since old Molag Bal took hand by the nethers, going to lewd, masted vast possessions, and here turned shrines on all fours. That's actually probably from one of Vivek's sermons. And I'm not kidding. Which we're not reading until later because we have to get them all in order. I mean, you could probably read them out of order because they're just mainlined crazy. But some of them are in chronological order. They're speculative, so I'm going to be prepared. I could pour it out, but you know, there's madness around. So the sermons of Vivek are absolutely wild. Wow, they did yeah, that is the power of reflect. It ran into me, headbutted me, and had 2 hit points left. That is awesome. Okay. There are some overpowered, buggy things about, you know, some of these games that I love, that they took out by Skyrim that I really miss. This game is amazing for the ability to, levitate and essentially become a massively overpowered god. Now, enchanting in Skyrim lets you do that, but not as directly. You kind of have to do these loops upon loops upon... It's a lot of work. So, I miss being able to make being able to make the spells in Oblivion. I miss the levitation from Morrowind. By the later games, they've taken out a lot of the overpowered fun. So some of this is just putting it back in. Come on, you guys can't take a stand. You're embarrassing me in front of the Daedra. Oh, you are never mind. Okay. So we're gonna go turn that one in. I didn't find the madness ore. Maybe with the new patch it doesn't exist. It's not that important. I don't even know what it's for. I just thought it was cool. What is that? Is that someone's, like, femur? Looks like a rib. Oh well. I can't touch it. Yeah, there used to be an alcove with some madness ore. I think it was up here. Yeah, see, the original mod list, the Path of the Incarnate did not have parallax textures. So I took out a lot of the replacers, and I'm still in the process of, you know, replacing things, and finding out. So the textures look amazing, but some of them are missing because I must still have a regular texture in there. So I have to go back in and do a bit more surgery. So they don't have the cool bells and whistles of the old ones, but they've got better textures that respond better to light and shaders. So yeah, that was a lot of work, and I'm proud of it. And every now and then things are still yellow or pink. Alright, so we head back to the Aldrune Temple. Not the Manor District, but the temple to turn in the Compassion quest. In fact, I think it's this temple. And maybe don't drag my Daedra in with me. Oops. Sorry.
I am never too busy. Have you shown compassion to Bulfim Grashugars? You cured Bulfim Grashugarts and have proven your compassion. You might be interested in this book, which has an important lesson on the rewards of compassion. Were you able to preserve the potion? You have performed beyond my expectations. You are indeed resourceful as well as compassionate. Are you ready for further duties? The temple recognizes you. You are now the adept. A man in Suran named Elvil Vidron is a false incarnate. Elvil Vidron in Suran claims to be the Nerevarine and makes prophecies of doom. Clearly he is a heretic. Convince him that he is mistaken, or, if all else fails, prove it by killing him. If he is the true Nerevarine, he is protected by prophecy and cannot die. You already made the pilgrimage to Margan. It is on the north shore of Lake Masobi, in the northwest corner of the Ascadian Isles. You can get there by going east from Pelagiad and around the north side of the Dren plantation, following the roads east until you reach Suran, or you can take a silt strider from Molag Mar or Vivek. You have already proven your compassion.
Yeah, it's buggy. You are already a member of the temple. You are now an initiate in the temple.
Your talents are noteworthy,
okay,
but some question your depth of devotion. Perform more duties for the temple, and you will soon be rewarded. You have completed the pilgrimages of the 7 Graces. You should speak with the monk Andise at the Argonian mission, if the monk's life interests you, that is.
Okay, let's go to Nuchulingadith. Okay. That. Let's find it. I think it's up here. No. That's Nuchuleft. Where's Nuchuleftinct? Nuchuleftinct. Okay. So... I'm gonna go to Suran and then fly up because I can finish the temple quest in Suran pretty quickly. It's really easy to do if you do it after you finish the main quest and you're like, dude, the party's over. Oh. You missed an Nerevarine boat. It has sailed.
Yes, Outlander. What do you want? Red Mountain spreads ash and blight. Sinners gather at the house. The time of the incarnate is at hand.
So if I speak about false incarnate...
You disbelieve. I know my destiny, and you will have a hard time proving otherwise. I have seen the message in the dream. Have you not also experienced the waking dream?
I'll answer yes, but you're not the one I envisioned.
Who then, if not myself? There must be a meaning to these dreams. Perhaps you are right. Your words have guided me. I will seek penance for my sins. Forgive me, and thank you.
Okay.
Existence. Therefore, the mystic mage must consign himself to finding dependable patterns within a royal energy. In the time it takes him to devise an enchantment with a consistent trigger and result, his peers in the other schools may have researched and documented dozens of new spells and effects. The mystic mage must thus be a patient and relatively uncompetitive philosopher. For centuries, mostly during the Second Era, scholarly journals published theory after theory about the aspect or aspects of magicka lumped together under mysticism. The Mage's Guild's tradition of finding answers to all things, respected researchers suggested that mysticism's penultimate energy source was the Aetherius itself, or else daedric beings of unimaginable power. Either rationale would explain the seemingly random figurations of mysticism. Some even ventured that mysticism arose from the unused elements of successfully, or even unsuccessfully, cast spells. Discussion within the Order of Psijics after Artium's reappearance has led some scholars to postulate that mysticism is less spiritual in nature, as was originally supposed, and that either the intellect or the emotional state of the believer is sufficient to influence its energy configuration and flow. None of these explanations is truly satisfactory, taken by itself. For the beginning student of mysticism, it is best simply to learn the patterns distinguishable in the maelstrom of centuries past. The more patterns are discovered, the clearer the meaning until, of course, they change. For inevitably, they have to. And then the journey begins anew. The pages of the Book of Life and Service overflow with obscure mystical pronouncements and prophecies, few of which are comprehensible, much less relevant to your situation. However, the following two excerpts seem of possible interest. The first suggests classification of entities to be encountered here on the Soul Care. The second may be an invocation of command. The ranks of the blessed. Blessed are the bowmen, for they serve without self in spirit forever. Blessed are the mistmen, for they blend in the glory of the transcendent spirit. Blessed are the wrathmen, for they render their rage unto the ages. Blessed are the masters, for they bridge the past and span the future. The litany of service, the bowman's oath. We die, we pray, to live, we serve. The master's voice, you swore to serve. The Lord commands.
The Book of Rest and Endings. The ritual for ending of wrath. From 50 fathers, frozen in slave past, ripped from the wraith, sunder the life, locked tight in firm in grave fast.
Okay. We are almost there. Oh, no, maybe just one more.
Laid Low by Orgo Bro Muck, the autobiography of an orc, Volume 6. And so we set off, Mandar, my good Khajiit friend and sometimes cellmate, Rhea, the wise and sharp-toothed Argonian, Shestville, the bulky Nordic version of a thief, Selowyn, our pretty Bosmeri leader, and myself, the orcish former legionnaire who was apparently the muscle of the operation. As instructed, my eyes never strayed from the water's edge. My attention was so focused that I almost trampled Madar a few times, at which she laughed. You stumble as though on burning sands. Then, more quietly, let the scales worry about the fishes. Considering that the fishies had the benefit of both fins and a swift swim spell, I began to wonder what was taking them so long to report back to us. The Argonian became nervous as well, letting out a long, low hiss of distress. Jesville slapped Rhea on the back and laughed, suggesting that perhaps the lizard hadn't trained the slaughterfish nearly as well as he thought. We came within sight of the small port town without ever catching sight of the fish. Selowyn shrugged it off, since nothing else seemed amiss, except for her and Jesville. The rest of us became more guarded in our manner anyway. We walked to one nondescript shack near the shore, and Selwyn disappeared inside while we waited. A few minutes later, as I was studying the craftsmanship of a barrel, I was startled when a clawed finger touched my shoulder lightly. I turned to face Rhea, whose nervousness had become something just shy of terror. With his other hand, he was pointing toward the docks. I 3 slaughterfish tied to a post and gutted, with an Imperial Guardsman standing nearby. Uncomprehending, I shrugged. Fool! Rhea hissed quiet explanation. Those are not just any fish, they are our fish. I would recognize them anywhere. The guard may be on to us. Bad enough that he's here, but that we might be expected. As soon as the words were out of his mouth, the guard seemed to turn his head toward our small group. We all looked at each other fearfully. Then Yesville said, "Oh, what the hell," drew his weapon, and began walking toward the guard. The guard, naturally, responded in kind. Madar and I ran, splitting up, not wanting any part of this action. It seems the Imperials had expected us. I noticed 2 more guards rushing to the scene of combat as I tried to appear to be a regular.
Ah, welcome. What may I do for you? I'm Senelius Caduceus, and this is my daughter Pania. We are excavating these Dwemer ruins. Oh, I see you have a letter from Haspat Antabolus, and you come recommended. Splendid. Perhaps you could help us out. Our native guide, Anes Vendu, is missing. He was taking notes for our next excavation report, and he must have taken it with him when he disappeared. Somehow he must have gotten into the lower levels. Would you try and find him? Anes Vendu took the excavation report with him, and I can't figure out how to get to the lower levels.
I'm fine, thank you. What can I do for you? I've been worried about him. Right before he left for the lower levels, he kept saying something about the test of pattern. I hope he's all right. If you must talk about this boring excavation business, you should talk to my father, Senelius.
Okay, the trick of the test of pattern is pull the 3rd crank.
Behind me, I could hear among the clash of swords, Hochtveld shouting curses about his cowardly allies who had abandoned him and such. In the middle of one curse, he fell silent. Knowing it was just a matter of time before the original guard identified us, I began to search for Madar and Rhea. Selwyn hadn't exited the shack, so I assumed she either was dead or arrested already. She was still negotiating the price for our smuggling. Rhea, I saw some distance away, stealthily diving into the water west of town. Almost frantically, I cast about for Madar, and my heart sank when I finally spotted her. My little Khajiit friend was dashing away, blissfully unaware of an archer posted atop a building on the outskirts of town. I knew I couldn't reach the archer in time with sword, and I'd have a hard time hitting him with a spell, such was his position. Shouting to Madar would do no good, and would just betray my own position. In desperation, I did the only thing I could think of. Leaning casually against a barrel, I looked from the fleeing Madar to the archer and back again. My timing had to be spot on, or she would be skewered. Watching the tautness of the bowstring, I cast the powerful spell that would knock the wind from its target, which Kiabie Sunien had been kind enough to teach me. Then it was a race between the arrow and my spell. I saw Madar crumple to the ground. For a moment, I wasn't sure if my plan had worked, and the arrow had sailed harmlessly overhead, or if the arrow had pierced her. Waiting just long enough to see her get to her feet again, I breathed a sigh of relief. Our group scattered. It was now my turn to flee.
Oh, that's another thing I really miss from Oblivion, and I am considering giving up my Oblivion remastered mod list and going back to the original, because it was so much fun putting Reflect and Chameleon on gear to the point that nothing could see you, even if they were standing on top of you. That was amazing. Ooh, nice Dwemer tube. Score. So yeah, and the remake also nerfed spells so that you couldn't make a practice spell that would raise all 6 classes at once. I'm leaning more toward going highly modded old school rather than new school. Although it's very pretty. Pretty but dumb. Okay, so we have Senilius's report. We have this book called Hanging Gardens. Also not voiced. Okay. Oh, no. Come with me. Gonna need that. Cat's Imperial Knight Curus, Night Eye 25 points. Okay, so we'll go back to the beginning and tell them, poor guy. Take the book, and this will tie into a mage guild quest. These guys are a mage guild. Pasvat and Tavlis recommended
How can I
me.
help you? Did you find Anes Vendu? Did you get the excavation report? I feared he might be dead. This is terrible news. I should never have let him explore the ruins alone. Did you find the excavation report? You found the report? Deliver it to Edwina Elbert in Aldrun. I will continue my work here. Now that the lower levels are open, perhaps we can make more discoveries here. In honor of our deceased colleague, Anes Vendu. This book is written in both Dwemer and Aldmeris. If you can find a scholar who can read Aldmeris, this might well be the translation key we've been looking for. This is a very exciting discovery. I only wish Anes Vendu could share it with us. We will carry on our work in his honor.
Okay, so I am going to... Did I already go to the Eldaroon Mages Guild? Let me see if I have a recall spot there. No, I'm still in the Red Room. Okay.
Well met, friend.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the Guild of Mages. Edwina is another quest-giving hub here. I'm gonna mark right next to her and start. She'll probably give me more duties at this point, so I'll still have some duties with, what is it, Eldis? No, Rannis. In Balmora. And then Edwina here will help me. And then Skink.
Do you need something? Did you get the excavation report from Nichu Leftingth? Did you get the excavation report from Nichuleftingth? Thank you, Outlander. This report will be helpful, I'm sure.
Yes, Journeyman, there's something you could do for me. I'm looking for a copy of a rare dwarven book, Chronicles of Nichuleft.
It is a rare dwarven tome. None of the Mages Guild branches have a copy, and it is simply essential to my research. Would you be willing to find a copy for me? I simply must have this book for my research.
Oh.
Use the gold I gave you to find a
I already
copy.
had one.
Maybe one of the booksellers has one.
Interesting.
I have the excavation report already. Now this is an interesting book, Outlander. It appears to be written in both Dwemer and Old Meris. If you could find a scholar of the Dwemer who knew Old Meris, you might be able to translate portions of the Dwemer text. This book is priceless in the right hands. You can get there by going around the mountains near Suran and heading northeast along the Foyarda Nadanat, or you can start in Molag Mar and head northwest towards Mount Kand. Go north around Mount Kand and along the north side of the Foyarda.
Okay, so I am an evoker. Alright. I'm bound here. And, okay. I think I have Chronicles of Ninja left. It might be in my storage. We'll see. Anyway. Nice, profitable day. Oh, she kneels to pray. It's odd because she has so many hybrid things to pray about or pray to. It's beginning to centralize into self-sufficiency. Of course, with everybody else giving her things. That's lovely.